I have some more inside information regarding Mike Trout and where exactly he might end up. And hint, it might not just be the Yankees. With the Angels basically ready to sell off their team, possibly new ownership, they're going to want to wipe the plate clean. Ohtani's not going to stay, and Trout is looking to go elsewhere. He's looking to possibly go to the East Coast and finally win. Now let's go check out our source, NYY News, that basically talks about this MLB insider and what exactly that person has to say. An MLB front office source, who will remain anonymous but is a division rival of the Angels, has reported the following new information to NYY News. With Moreno selling the Angels, them having zero shot to re-sign Ohtani, and the Angels' lack of ability to build anything close to a contender, Trout is quietly trying to force a trade. He's an East Coast kid that wants to be closer to home, but he also wants a chance to win. He has 3 teams he prefers: Phillies, Yankees, and Mets. No one is willing to take that whole deal on with the back issues, and there is a problem with getting insurance to cover the remaining amount. It's a Stanton type situation, and I was told Trout prefers Philly for whatever it's worth. That is pretty exciting, and that is one of those things that when you hear that and you're a Yankees fan, or let's say you're a Mets fan or you're a Phillies fan, how could you not get excited about the fact that Mike Trout possibly, if you believe this source, wants to get out? And how could you blame Mike Trout? The guy wants to win. You think growing up as a kid in New Jersey and you're not considered a top player from the beginning when you get drafted, that you have something to prove? Of course. Every single baseball player wants to win a World Series championship. That's the whole point of the game, is to win, is to be on top. You don't think one of the best players to ever play this game, Mike Trout, wants to win? Then you must be crazy. Because at the end of the day, if you are an MLB player and you're playing for the Angels, and the Angels haven't been contending, and they got 2 of the top players in the whole league, and they can't even break past the wild card or get anywhere close to it, that gets frustrating. And you want to win. You want to cement your legacy and show that you actually are a winner. So can you blame a guy like Mike Trout? And so I believe it. I believe that Mike Trout wants to get traded away. You saw what happened. Ohtani ended up becoming the biggest name in baseball. Even people were saying, oh no, Ohtani's going to win this year because he pitches and hits and over Judge. With that point being the fact that Ohtani overshadows Mike Trout. And no one wants to be overshadowed. No one ever wants to be the second guy. You look at Jordan and Pippen. Like, at the end of the day, you remember Michael Jordan. You don't remember Pippen. Yeah, he was a great player, but and he's just second to the champ. You want to be that #1 guy on your team. Mike Trout wants to go back to the East Coast. He wants to win a championship. He wants to have a ring. He doesn't want to be the second guy. No, can you blame him? And plus, on top of that, if you're from the East Coast and you're in California, you played your whole career there, you want to go back to the East Coast. You want to be close to family. Mike Trout is a family guy. So let's break this quote down a little bit more. The quote starts off by talking about basically the owner of the Angels wanting to sell the team off. And we all know that the Angels are up for sale. And when a sale happens, what usually happens is that the owner's like, hey, look, I want to start this fresh. I don't know what the last owner did, but we're going to start this fresh. We're going to take away everything out of here. It's like if you move into a new apartment, a new house, you're not going to just keep all the old furniture there. Most people want to start fresh, change the paint, change the furniture, change the carpet, do a lot of different things, especially when it comes to billion-dollar business. Then you're going to want to do some changes. And one of that is creating something from scratch and having full credit that it was you and it wasn't past ownership. And Mike Trout, that huge contract, it has to go. Ohtani, he's going to get one of the biggest contracts, if not the biggest contract, bigger than Mike Trout's for sure. It's going to hit $500 million, and he's going to go to a different team, whether that's the Mets or a team that can afford him. Every single team is going to try because you're getting a 2-for-1. It's like a 2-for-1 shampoo. Like, why not? So because of that simple fact, the Angels are probably going to want to start fresh. The new owner's going to want to start fresh. They don't want to start with Ohtani, with Trout. They want to clear the books. They want to start with prospects. And how do you do that? With trading Ohtani, with trading a Trout, and getting something fresh. The Angels haven't been contending in a long time, even with Trout and Ohtani. So what makes you think that this year they're going to contend? It's not going to happen. And as you guys may know, Trout grew up in New Jersey, and he's actually a Phillies fan. The guy loves the Phillies, and he would love to play for the Phillies. And going into that, the Phillies is definitely one of his teams that he would want to get traded to. I would say it's his preferred team. Then comes the Yankees and the Mets. But if we break those teams' outfield roster, I guess you could say, and see what exactly they have, I would say the Phillies and the Mets outfields are solid. When you look at the Mets, you have Nimmo, Starling Marte, and then you got Marcana. It's a solid outfield. When you look at the Phillies, another great outfield. Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, and you got Marsh. So you got all these guys that are solid outfielders. And that leads me to believe that the Phillies won't want to trade for a Mike Trout because they're already packed out there in the outfield. Same thing for the Mets. They are good in the outfield. They don't need to trade for a Mike Trout. But the Yankees, we all know the Yankees are looking for a left fielder. The Yankees have Judge in right field, obviously. You have Bader in center field. And left field is a question mark. And the Angels have considered moving Mike Trout from center to left field, and that's happened since last season. The Yankees would be the most perfect fit for Mike Trout. And it ends up being that that's one of his 3 teams that he'll prefer to go to. And before I get those comments, oh, but we have Aaron Hicks. And we have Oswaldo Cabrera. Oh, we're good. There's no comparison, obviously, between a Mike Trout or anyone else in the league. I mean, you could put whatever name there, really. But the Yankees have a void, and they need to fill it. Now, there is a concern regarding Mike Trout's back issues. No one is really willing to take on the rest of his contract. I think he has like 8 years, $200-something million left. If you guys want the full details, I made a banger of a video the first time around, so make sure to check that out where I talk about Mike Trout and everything like that. But anyways, besides that, most teams fear that they're not going to be able to get insurance on the rest of his contract due to the simple fact of his back issues. Now, that goes to show you that maybe getting a Mike Trout isn't that crazy of a possibility. Mike Trout has come injured. He hasn't been on the field all the time compared to a Brian Reynolds that's been on the field all the time and been healthy and whatever the case is, and he's there. It's going to take more trading prospects to get that guy because Mike Trout has a decent sized contract still. So the team that gets him is going to have to pay him still. Getting a Brian Reynolds isn't going to cost you much compared to a Mike Trout. At the end, it's going to take a Stanton-type deal. And guess who has the Stanton-type deal experience? Brian Cashman. Even though we hate the guy, he did bring us Giancarlo Stanton. So could this be another possibility? I talked about this in my previous video. Yes, it could be. And of course, Trout prefers Philly. And can you blame him? He grew up as a fan. To give the Yankees some props, he did grow up as a Jeter fan. And who couldn't grow up as a Jeter fan? Unless you're like a Red Sox fan. But at the end of the day, even Red Sox fans would say, hey man, that guy's respectable. So Mike Trout, could he possibly see himself as a Yankee? He knows the likelihood of going to the Phillies is very low and going to the Mets is very low, and that the Yankees seem to be the perfect fit for him. I just don't see the Mets happening at all, and the Phillies know because of their simple booked outfield. The Yankees are the option if Mike Trout were to get traded and the Angels say, all right, let's trade him off. Let's bring him to a team that can contend and that's in the East Coast and is a part of his 3-team group. The Yankees have the most likely possibility in landing a Mike Trout. New ownership will want to make changes. Like I said, you look at the Miami Marlins. You saw what they did. With Derek Jeter in charge, he sent off everyone. Yelich. And he sent off, obviously, Stanton. This could be another Miami Marlins type of situation. Like, hey, we're going to build up our prospects, and in 5-10 years, we're going to be able to be in it. But right now, we're not going to be in it because we're not Steve Cohen. We don't have that much money. So we're going to wait and build with prospects. Do it like the Astros did, kind of build prospects minus the cheating, and then see if we can make it there. But where will Trout land? That is my question to each and every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. For me, like I said, I believe it is the Yankees. But maybe you guys believe it could be the Mets, it could be the Phillies, or maybe a different team. But I would say the Yankees have the highest possibility of landing a Mike Trout, and that he would have the highest possibility of helping us win a championship and cementing his legacy as one of the greatest players to ever play the game of baseball. Now imagine that lineup and imagine that team. That would be sick.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.